Is up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer, JC, Steve, Alfonso with you this morning. We got a lot going on. Happy Olympics Day, everybody. That's a big deal for me. I hope you're as excited as I am. Maybe in honor of the Olympics, we'll look at the EWQ. We'll look at the French ETF today. I think we probably should. I got some earnings on my list. We got some insider buying to talk about. We have an interesting, what do you call it? Like SEC charges against a certain short seller we want to discuss. So that'll be the plan for the day. We'll have Louis on because, of course, it's Crypto Friday. Okay, we'll have Kenny Glick on. We'll have Alfonso on. And that is the plan for the day. So let's get this show on the road. Run my intro. Hit the like. Start the show. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Let's go. Crypto Friday. How we doing?
Good morning.
I just want to start out by saying that short sellers are very important.
We're going right there.
Going right there. Short sellers are very, very, very important. This isn't a banana republic. You know, no matter what people tell you, this isn't that. In banana republics, you can't short stocks. Here in America, if a stock is going to zero, fuck them. Short them to zero. What happens to the company and to their employees and all that is not our problem. A company's going to zero, we have the ability to profit from that company's demise, and that's one of the many things that makes America so great. That is a fact. Tell me I'm wrong, Strazza.
It's true, but there's a right and a wrong way to go about it.
Also fact.
And they got one of the bad guys today.
So tell me who the bad guy is.
I think Citron has been one of the worst offenders of this trend my whole career.
Why?
So these guys went big against Valiant and were very right, and he became very famous out of nowhere. And now, as it turns out, did you see some of the details in the Wall Street Journal article?
So famous, like this Citron guys, like they don't have any assets under management. Like they're like
it's just his own money, JC.
Right, so it's an irrelevant fund. It means absolutely nothing, right? Do I have that right?
He moves the market anytime he puts out a report.
He moves the market with $20 million. It might as well be zero.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he moves the market with his words, not his money.
Yeah.
So look, you're right. He didn't have much capital. It was so bad that, let me read this.
Wait, just before you read that, just to get everyone on the same page here. So what happened is federal prosecutors actually formally charged Andrew Left today with fraud and market manipulation related to his short reports and, more importantly, his own trading activity around said short reports.
So he was going short. He was putting out the short reports, covering, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I asked you guys about this, and Strazza said there was nothing wrong with that.
Well,
no, I didn't.
No.
How am I confused? Tell me where I'm confused.
I've been on here railing against these exact people. And I told you.
But what about the cojones guy? Isn't there a cojones?
I don't think he's a bad guy.
No?
But they cover their positions when they drop the reports. Remember, you're like, they don't cover them right. They cover them right away. That's what this investigation found. He literally puts out tweets and then covers his position. He says there's a 50% downside on a stock. He's not holding it for 50%. He was long weekly puts.
And that is illegal.
Dude, listen to this. Prosecutors also accused Left of hiding ties to hedge funds that got early notice of his research and in cases passing off their trading ideas as his own. The hedge funds traded in advance of his reports becoming public and shared a portion of profits back with him.
Yeah.
JC, whether or not this is illegal is we're going to find out, aren't we? Because
I'm pretty sure exactly what Strazza is describing is illegal.
Dude.
Yeah.
That is dirty.
That's all that sounds very illegal.
These short shops are scum. The Bitcoin miner should rally today just on this report.
By the way, just because this guy's a piece of shit doesn't mean that short sellers are bad.
There are some.
I just want to reiterate that.
Yeah.
Short sellers are necessary for the market. This is not a banana republic. This isn't some random third world country. This is the United States of America.
I've done
Short sellers are important. So just because this guy is a scumbag doesn't make short selling bad. Short selling is the best thing ever. This guy's just a piece of shit, right?
So let's talk about the other side, right? Because this is the wrong way to do it. It's an excellent article on Wall Street Journal. Everybody should check it out. Some people do it the right way. I worked one time with someone who was a registered whistleblower. He doesn't come out and blast his ideas all over Twitter. When he puts out his short report, he sends a package to the SEC with it. And then they go and they investigate the company, and he makes his money that way. You've never heard of this guy. You never will hear of him. And there are people who are out here doing this and doing it really well, right? And taking down bad companies.
Let me ask you something. If you do that, so if you're short and you're a whistleblower, aren't there like, don't you get rewarded for being a whistleblower? So you get rewarded on a short sale and you get compensated for whistleblowing?
Yes.
Good money. Good money if you can get it. I like that.
That's right. So people like Andrew Left run out of good short ideas, right? And then they just come out and they run their mouth and they say, crazy outlandish statements, and they crash a stock, 5-10% in a day, and they day trade it.
Yeah, that's basically something you can do, is day trade your own report, right? And that's exactly what the government says he was doing.
Yep.
Well, if that allegedly that's what he was doing, and I guess we'll find out if that's what he was doing. He deserves to go to prison, and nobody feels bad for him. But that doesn't change the fact that if you want to short a stock because you think it's going to zero, you go ahead, you do short that stock.
And it also doesn't necessarily make his reports wrong. It's not even about the reports. It's about what he was doing. It's about knowing that you sending a tweet could move a stock and then profiting off that information. And that's just, it's a really shitty thing to do. It's a really shitty thing to do.
All right, put him in jail.
More than 50 companies covered by Citron were the subject of regulatory investigation.
Take him in the bathroom.
Hold on, one last. I got to read one last clip, then we'll move on. The indictment says he manipulated the prices of at least 15 stocks over a 5-year period, earning illegal profits of $16 million. Sometimes suggesting stock prices would fall by 50% or more, but closing his positions after share prices had moved only a couple of percent.
Yeah, my favorite tidbit was when he wrote that he was bullish Tesla, then he sold within a minute of his tweet.
Wow, what a piece of shit this guy, huh?
There's some spicy details.
All right. Now let's just circle back. The guy has $20 million in AUM. It might as well be zero. Doesn't matter.
Not about the AUM.
He's an irrelevant person.
That's why he was kicking the ideas to hedge funds and using their AUM and taking kickbacks. Hilarious.
All right. So the guy's a loser. Let's get into more important things.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've got the Dow up 240 points this morning. That's almost 0.2%. You've got the NASDAQ 100 futures up over 1% on the day. That's 200 points. 19,200 for the NASDAQ 100 futures. S&P futures up almost a full percent, back towards that 5,500. 30-year bond futures up 0.5%. That's 119. Crude oil up 0.5%, just under 78. Copper flat on the day, 412. Gold up a stick, 24.25 for gold. Silver up 0.33%, just hovering slightly above there, 28. Volatility index down back under 18, almost kissed 20, so 17.5 there now for the VIX. And then over in funny money land, you've got Bitcoin up 2% this morning. That's 1,400 points, 67,200 for Bitcoin. Ethereum 32.5. That's 2% on the day, 67 points to the upside, 32.5 for Ethereum. Solana hanging in there. Resilient, that Solana, that relative strength of 4% this morning, just under 180. Binance hanging in there up 1%, just under 580. Total crypto market cap, Spencer Israel, 2.34 trillion. Bitcoin dominance, highest levels in 3 years. 56.5%. You could throw up that chart there, slide 4. The percentage of Bitcoin market cap, the Bitcoin market cap as a percentage of total crypto market cap, highest levels in 3 years. Just wanted to throw that out there. And that's this morning's rundown. What stands out to you?
Like for crypto or just in general?
Yeah, what stands out to you?
I mean, this chart is very interesting as someone that has never ventured down the the cap scale, the block scale, whatever you want to call it. And I've only stayed with the big three. This is good for me. So
What is
this chart? The outperformance of Bitcoin. So I like that.
Yep.
Well, historically, we'll talk to Louis about it. He's got better data, but historically, Bitcoin does better when it's not dominating. So if this is all you own, then it's not good for you.
All right.
But
Talk more about that.
That's been a little bit different this cycle, right?
We'll talk to Louis about it. It's a good question. Like, is Bitcoin a defensive haven, or is Bitcoin dominating a good thing? It's a good thing early on in our experience. Not that we have that many cycles to go by. It's good early on in my experience. But then as the cycle progresses, that Bitcoin dominance starts to come down. You start getting that leadership from the altcoins, and we obviously haven't seen that yet.
Here's what stands out to me today. Two things, equities market. We'll talk crypto more when Louis is here. It looks like for now, the NASDAQ 100 has stopped the bleeding a bit, right? It's been a rough week for mega cap tech. The AI trade has seen profit taking that we haven't seen this whole cycle. And the other thing is, look at the banks, look at the biotechs, and look at that flag in the Russell 2000.
Throw up slide 2. The Russell 2000 this morning, Steve Strazza, is up 1.4% this morning. Russell 2000 futures leading the way higher by a long shot. I just want to go over a couple of things as we close out the month of July, which is the first month in the third quarter of this year. These are the returns since this bull market started on June the 16th of 2022, when the new 52-week highs list peaked. Excuse me, the new 52-week lows list peaked. That's as bad as things were. Things have gotten progressively better since that moment in time, to the point that in July, the New York Stock Exchange saw more stocks above their 200-day moving average. In other words, there were more stocks on the New York Stock Exchange in uptrends than at any point in this entire bull market. We also saw the most amount of new 52-week highs on the New York Stock Exchange at any point in this entire bull market. We also saw more stocks on the NASDAQ hit new 52-week highs than at any point in the entire market. So one thing we know about the end of bull markets is that they don't end when things are the best. Underneath the surface, you see that deterioration every single time. So the fact that market breadth is not deteriorating, quite the opposite. This month was as good as it's been at any point this bull market. We are now on month number 25 for this bull market, officially month number 26, if you really want to get down to it. At no point has the market internals been this strong. We're not seeing breadth deterioration at all. In fact, we continue to see improvement. Strazza's talking about the Russell 2000 going out at new 30-month highs. Very, very impressive.
And if the regional banks and the biotechs are going to resolve their coils, right, just like they broke out of their bases when Russell 2000 was, Russell 2000 is going to resolve that little flag higher too. Right?
I have a fun fact for you guys.
Love fun facts.
I have quite the fun fact. There's a little known stock market index out there called the S&P 600. Okay, the S&P 600 is the smallest companies of the S&P 1500, right? So you've got the S&P 1500, which include the S&P 500 large cap stocks, very, very famous, very popular, right? S&P 500, kind of a big deal. Then you got the S&P 400, which are the mid caps, right? Which aren't as large as the large caps, aren't as small as the small caps. See that? That's
he's right.
Thinking,
he's right.
Thinking right there.
Yep.
And then you've got the S&P 600 index. These are the smallest 600 stocks in the S&P 1500. So it's the small cap index in the S&P, which requires a track record of earnings in order to be included in the S&P 600. It's not like the Russell 2000 that lets anybody in, right? No borders there. Everybody come on in, right? S&P 600, you need a track record of earnings. Yep. Fun fact. You ready for this, Steve Strazza? If July would end today, which it probably won't.
No.
Big if true.
If the month of July would end today, It would be the highest monthly close in the history of the S&P 600.
Yeah. Is it? That doesn't sound.
Oh, it is.
Really?
You think that I would? You think that I would screw up a fun fact that fun? That is a very fun fact. No.
Wow. And look at that monthly candle. I'm saying, if you're peaking, I'm peaking with you. Wow. Big sticks out here in July. July is the best month. So that makes sense. Love to see it.
What do you guys think in the chat? Is that a fun fact? I thought that was kind of fun.
You know,
I didn't see that coming. I bet Strazza clearly didn't see that coming.
the market peaked and rolled over a bit into some corrective action, both the summer of 22, right? We had all those famous August 2022 highs. And then again last year, July of 2023. Not this July. No corrective action this July. Unless you're big cap tech, right?
Well, I was going to say, unless you're in the most owned names, which is most people. Most people are in the most owned stuff, right?
So screw most people. That's not our problem. That's their problem.
But shouldn't we talk about it more? Like, what do you think about the way that these leaders have been sold the past few weeks? It feels a little different to me. I'm noticing a slight change in character.
You know what I love? I love that all these fools were complaining that these mega cap stocks were the only ones working. Now they're complaining that they're not working as much as the others, right? I'm pretty sure it's just that people like to complain.
Yeah, that much is true.
But how am I? Think about it like this: when I'm sitting around and I'm watching my DGen shows in the middle of the night on YouTube, and I'm going down those rabbit holes as you know I do. I wonder to myself, you know, the fact that the best stocks in this month are different than the best stocks 3-4 months ago.
Crazy.
I'm supposed to take that as a bad thing? Like, is that supposed to make me sad?
How about this?
No, but what are you doing with your tech stocks? Is that a better way to say it? Right? Like, did you see what I wrote for Hot Corner yesterday?
I mean, I've got tech stocks in my long-term portfolio because I'm exposed to the United States. So I have plenty of tech stocks, right? Like, I get that. But in tactical stuff, I don't have any.
Okay. Yeah. So I got blown out selling puts in some of these AI names earlier in the week.
Energy. I mean, you see this? You see this energy, man?
I did.
Ooh, that Valero looking hot. Looking spicy on those refiners, huh?
I think energy's getting there. Some of these charts look really good. Like the early energy leaders are starting to go. See this OII chart? This
Stock Market Mike wants JC's DGen show playlist. You guys are going to start. If I start telling you what I watch, you guys are going to start judging me. I don't need that.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
For what it's worth.
You don't want to know. You guys aren't ready for that. This is next level DGen shit.
So
guys,
and this maybe this is a good analogy, maybe it's not, but like people's feelings about the economy are unduly influenced by food prices and gas prices because that's what we see most often. People's feelings about the market.
Could you imagine having your head so far up your ass that you let the economy get in the way of your making in the market?
My point was in that same way, people's feelings about the market are unduly influenced by the performance of tech because it's what they own the most of. So if tech is going down, which it is, then they think, oh, correction, sell off, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
You see what happens? You see what happens with your home country bias? You Americans, not you specifically, Spencer, although you are certainly guilty of it. You Americans with your home country bias, you got to stop it. Stop.
You don't want to
just a large cap tech bias.
You don't want to lose the generals in the middle of a bull market. Is that fair, JC? If these things really roll over, like look at something like AMD.
I don't give a fuck what Apple or Microsoft are doing if Berkshire Hathaway is making new all-time highs and Chevron and Exxon are breaking out and Caterpillar and Honeywell are making new all-time highs. I don't give a shit about your former generals. You got new generals, baby. Let's go. This is Dream Team 2. Let's go.
I feel differently about some of these tops in tech today. I'll probably be wrong, but I feel a little bit differently.
Dude, these things ripped. Let them dance. Let them dance.
For how long? A few weeks or a few months?
Could be quarters.
Wonderful. All right.
Let's see how they. Let's see.
Remember, in the back half of 22, everything was working except mega cap tech. Remember everybody crying about it? Oh my God, JC, my Nvidia isn't working.
What did Morgan put in your coffee this morning?
I remember.
Nobody trades your discretionary stocks, JC. Nobody knows what industrials are, JC. People trade Apple, JC.
That's true.
But then they missed the entire back half of 22 because they had their heads up their asses. And then come 23, and all these mega cap tech stocks are ripping, and it's like, oh, JC, it's only 7 stocks, JC. It's only 7.
All right.
Like, bro, like, are you guys just always angry and sad? Like, cheer the fuck up. It's a bull market.
Let's
Go to a
on
party,
someone,
man.
I know someone who can match this energy.
Yeah. Mr. Glick?
Jesus.
All right, let's bring Kenny on. I'm sure he's happy with what the Qs are doing. Let's go.
Bring him.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Kenny Glick in the house.
Yo,
Look at
what
this
up?
fucking guy.
You sounded like the guy. What was? Oh no! Mother, can you put some more petite marshmallows in my hot cocoa? Oh no!
Dude,
what movie? Come on.
Kenny looks like he's like in a hipster band playing in Brooklyn with like 4 people watching.
Exactly. I was going through the old closet. We were straightening things up. I'm like, oh, I remember that outfit. Banging it out. What's up? This shirt's got to be 27, 30 years old.
You're like at a Milky Chance concert 15 years ago.
I have no idea what that is, but yes. What's going on?
Just bull market is back on. I don't know if you heard. We're back.
I'm telling you, it's over, Johnny. It's over. Now, yesterday was really important. Let's get right to it. I don't know if you guys follow me on the Twitter and the stock twits, but I was just looking at those Q charts, and I gave you that price, 62.50. If it broke that, where we're going to go, 455.58 was the target. And that was the June 6th high candle, right around 10 o'clock. And that's where we broke out from, that May 31st pivot, June 6th.
You missed it by a nickel. It went to 455.63.
Yes, I was off by a couple of pennies.
God, how dare you?
Yes. So I bought there and just traded it. And then I was kind of shocked that we rolled over again. So that weakness is still out there. I still think there's residual selling, and I still think the Qs are going to go lower, using it as the ATM machine. As what you just said, the bull market is spreading. So the ATM machine is the Qs. So the people pulling out of the money there. I don't think it's going to be rescued till the end of the month. Again, we got Microsoft coming out. You got Amazon coming out. You got every night there's going to be something different. But Nvidia is not till the end of August. So we might be in some trouble here, but that's okay because it's due. We were due for this. That monster month from May, all the way to June 10th needed to be consolidated. So here we are. But underneath, like you said, the bull is spreading. Stocks like Serve and ASTS. I gave you guys the ASTS. I've been talking about it for weeks. And as long as I don't trade it, it'll keep going up. I never got the entry on the stock yesterday. I just watched it go up all day. But Serve, just unbelievable. There's always, again, that's what's so incredible about the market. There's always 4 or 5 stocks I've never heard of each day. And I've been doing this my whole life. And then you go back to the earnings reports, and there's just so much to do that it's a day trader's dream.
Give me a name. What's on the move this morning?
I have to look at Dexcom. I know nothing about the stock, but when I see a disaster, it interests me. DXCM. It's hovering at the VWAP, so I'm a buyer above 70 and at like 70.70.
So it's only down 38%. So here we go. Dexcom, DXCM. This is a $43 billion company, or at least it was a $43 billion company.
Do you want to know what they do?
Medical devices. What do? Create new cancers?
No, they're diabetes monitoring, glucose monitoring, diabetes, right?
So I guess something went wrong there. But again, 68 is your VWAP and $70 and 70.70 is a target. So I'm probably going to be looking to buy it. Again, I love stocks that are down over 25%. Usually you'll get a bounce. So I'm stalking that for a buy. And again, the pre-market lows are your out. So the risk is defined quickly here around 65.88. Again, I wait for the VWAP break. If the thing rolls over and breaks pre-market lows, it's probably going to $60. So that one's on the menu. Obviously, serve. I just try to get a borrow. I can't get a locate on it, so I was thinking about shorting this thing. This was the one that was $8. It went to 13 and change yesterday. So looking for a little retrace. This is the little robot.
Hold on. What do you mean? If you can't get a borrow, how do you short it?
I'm going to keep requesting it because sometimes they free up. Yeah. So I just keep pressing the button, hoping somebody gives me 1,000 shares I could short. So yeah, sometimes it has to refresh. And again, the better platforms, they'll go out and search it for you. But I'm on a little edge. Again, UVXY has just not gone away. This is the strongest UVXY has been in pretty much a year. You've been trending higher. The bids are there. Yesterday, the sell-off in UVXY was usually the end of it, and it came roaring back to break new highs. That's scary. UVXY doesn't act like this in a good market. So I understand how breath is spreading to the bull side, but still, there's some rumbling underneath that we could give way. So I'm looking at the UVXY. I'm obviously looking to short the Qs again today, and some of those lesser names. And Dexcom, I'm going to be all over this one for
keep in mind that as the bull market progresses, we are now in month number 26 of this bull market. Believe it or not.
What's the average amount? There we go.
What's that?
What's the average amount of months? Is there a standard rate, standard procedure?
You don't live in an average world, right? The average return in the S&P 500 is between 8 and 10%. Go back and count how many times the S&P 500 has gone up 8 to 10% in a year. Like almost never, right? It's both extremes. It's
Boomer
never
bust,
the average.
yeah. I was just having this conversation with somebody else. There's no happy middle ground anymore.
That's right.
Either
We're
ripping,
always angry.
everything's awesome, or it's the end of the world.
So because we're 2 years in, or month number 26 of this bull market, correlations have come off. Correlations are the lowest among S&P components that they've been this entire bull market. So to Kenny's point, breadth might be broadening. It certainly is. We have the math, we have the data, so it is. But at the same time, there are plenty of opportunities for stocks that are going down also because correlations are so off. So it can be both, and it is. One more thing I wanted to mention before, Kenny, you run. DXEM, the Jonas Brothers are the face of the commercial. So if I knew that, I'd probably be short before this happened.
Hey, one of the Jonas Brothers was really good in the movie. I think it was Midway. He was actually a pretty good actor. I was surprised.
DXCM sells devices that monitor your glucose for diabetes, but there are now drugs out there that treat diabetes. So if you have a drug that treats diabetes, you don't need something to monitor your diabetes. You know what I mean?
Oh, so this is one of those things like those cancer companies. They want you to still have cancer, so they stay in business. It's one of those kind of things.
Is this the Zoom of glucose monitoring stocks? I don't know. I saw something about you talking about Zoom, and it is going to zero because it's obsolete already, like Skype. All right, I gotta go.
We think it pops first, and then it goes.
See you, Kenny. All right, that was fun. Hey, it's Crypto Friday. Why don't we bring on our crypto guy?
Please, avocado toast.
Lou Dog.
Got my fingers on the pulse, avocado and toast, leather seats, jet plane, always ready to go.
Lou Dog.
How's it going?
Oh, So I'm talking to Louis last night. Long day at work. Bull market, a lot of things going on, and and Louis like, "Good morning." It's like almost 4 o'clock my time. He's like, "Good morning." I'm like, "What's up, Louis?" He's like, "Oh, just about to go for a walk." He's like, "Perlman says I'm too white. I need to get more sun."
I mean, look at me. Like, I'm really jealous. You got like Strazza over there. He's got a mean 10. I think JC, you need to get outdoors a little bit more, buddy. And then me, on the other hand,
it's the lights. I got a decent tan these days, to be honest. I'm looking pretty good.
To be fair, it's winter here, and so it's. I mean, I live in Wellington, and
you guys
so
have winters there.
I mean, when I say winter, like it's not like snow, like not where I live, but it's like cloudy.
You got to drive down for the snow, though.
Yeah, I'm actually going there in a few weeks' time, so that'll be quite.
Is there a bridge that takes you from the North Island of New Zealand to the South Island? You got to take a ferry.
We got to take a ferry. We are
build a bridge. Those cheap bastards.
Like
build a bridge.
I mean, we don't have the money for that. We're a small country. We
sell some sheep. You guys got like 13 times more sheep than humans. Sell some sheep. Build a goddamn bridge, man. It's 2024.
It's a hell of a ferry ride. Don't judge it until you've been on it.
You do both. Right. You do the ferry ride and the bridge. It's unacceptable, Louis. I will not stand for this. Build a damn bridge. I love bridges, by the way. That's part of my DGen late night. I watch documentaries about bridges. That's a true story. Louis, we were just having a conversation about the Bitcoin dominance, and Spencer Israel was talking about how because he's only interested in Bitcoin, this is good for him, that the 56% Bitcoin of total crypto market cap, he thinks it's a good thing. Is it though?
I don't think it matters. I don't
Wow.
think Ethereum or Bitcoin, one of those two outperforming, I don't think it matters. I've done the work. It doesn't necessarily predict future returns. It's not like consumer discretionary and consumer staples and the equity market. It's not like gold and silver. It's completely different. I don't think one outperforming the other is necessarily indicative of, risk appetite. Maybe from the perspective of it's a smaller market cap coin, so there's maybe the opportunity for outsized returns. But even then, I think that's kind of a weak argument. So I don't really think that's important. I think it is important from an asset allocation standpoint, obviously. We had the ETH ETF, and that was how should I say? It was a little bit lackluster. These ETF providers had to accept some what should I say? Some concessions from the SEC. They are not staking this ETH. So just think about that. There's actually a lot of opportunity cost to holding the ETF over self-custody Ethereum itself.
Now, why is that? Like, I haven't looked into this at all, but how come they can't stake the ETH and then allow that fund to pay a yield to its investors?
I think then it gets into the whole securities classification,
Yeah,
and the end goal is that these ETFs
yeah.
are just a decaf version of Ethereum. They're going to be underperforming. And so you're kind of seeing that in the early preliminary flows data. You had 106 million in net inflows and 133 million in net outflows, and then 152 million in net outflows the following day.
So this is interesting, and it's an important point because Solana is going to have the same issue when they launch those funds. No?
I mean, yes, you're probably right. And so, I mean, it depends who it's an issue for. I guess it's an issue for the people holding these ETFs. But again, that's not us, so I don't really care. That's their problem, and I don't really think it's going to impact the market all that much. I do want to talk about altcoins breaking down relative to Bitcoin, and so you guys were talking about Ethereum relative to Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. Here we're looking at the CCI 30 relative to Bitcoin. So this is actually a really good measure to the rest of the altcoin space. This isn't factoring into account really smaller market cap coins. This is mainly just the top 30 cryptocurrencies by market cap.
Yep.
Look at this downtrend here. This is the altcoin space, the crypto space breaking down relative to Bitcoin. Now this is obviously being
hold on. So this is IWM SPY, right?
It is a market cap weighted index, so you need to keep that in mind. And so this is very much dominated by Bitcoin and ETH, which make up about 40-50% of the index.
Good point. So what's going on?
They're breaking down, man. Bitcoin has been the leadership, and that's really interesting. The historical cycle for these bull markets is that you get that rotation down the cap scale. We haven't got that yet. We've actually got the opposite, where we had that massive sell-off, and a lot of these altcoins just look terrible. But obviously, last week I discussed how there is the opportunity for a nasty meme reversion here. But you want to see this begin to curl higher. You haven't seen that yet.
How about when you look beneath the surface at the individual altcoin charts? They were selling these things pretty hard the last 4 days.
You're right. Very much a factor of the ETFs. I do want to bring your attention to the CCI 30 index on an absolute basis. This is what a lot of cryptos look like right now, where you had that failed breakdown, that failed top. Now you're getting that pullback. Even if you pull back even more here into that support, it very much reminds me of the Bitcoin setup last time we were at here. We had that failed breakdown below 60K. We
Yeah.
got that rally, and then you're pulling back into the support level. Even if we pull back here, I think it's still viable.
This thing's taken a while to resolve this range. All these coins.
Yeah, man. Look at these drawdowns. 60, 70% drawdowns.
It takes time.
It's going to take time, but I still think there is a sizable opportunity shaping up into the back half of the year.
I mean, look, Solana still looks promising, but beneath the surface, I think there was some damage since last week. Like those.
JC, you're a bit quiet over there. I'm interested what your thoughts are here.
I'm quiet. I'm told I talk too much.
This morning, yeah.
It's like I have almost like balanced you out,
I think that every time I talk to you, Louis, you're talking about how, I don't want to say surprised, but you're sort of reiterating the drawdowns that we've seen in a lot of these altcoins, right? Like the average drawdown of the top 100. I mean, these are massive drawdowns. Literally every time we talk for the last few weeks, whether we're talking on a show or we're talking on the phone or Zoom or whatever. So what stands out to me is the ones that are not correcting, the ones showing the most amount of relative strength, the ones that not only have not gone down, in a lot of cases have gone sideways over the last couple of months, in some cases have gone up. Those are the ones that stand out to me. So when people are like, JC, bro, nobody trades the Brett coin or the Popcat or the Billy or, Mog. I'm interested in those names because those are the ones that are not going down. It's like in 23, stock, there were a lot of semiconductors that still hadn't broken out. They were trading sideways. The semiconductor index hadn't broken out yet. NVIDIA was already making new all-time highs. It's like something's going on here. And then what do you know? Then the semiconductor index broke out, all these other semiconductors, AI is like changing the world, blah, blah, blah. NVIDIA was already breaking out, right? It had already tipped its hand. So I'm not saying that Pepe is the next NVIDIA, but I'm not saying it's not. Look at Mog, look at Brett, look at Billy, look at Popcat.
All right, guys.
In there.
You know what?
No, am I wrong, Louis?
I'm interested in what Strazza was gonna say there.
Do you know what me and our buddy Brian Lund are messaging each other about this morning?
Hot stocks?
No. Did you see this press release from Coinbase last night?
The new executives on the board?
Not a big deal to you?
Tell me why I should care about the executives at Coinbase.
So we were having a conversation on Twitter Spaces. Brian Lund, also a big Coinbase bull, been long with us along the way, past few years. He thinks Coinbase is going to do something new and very different. Like, I don't know if you would call it a pivot, but they're going to take their industry leader status. This is what great businesses do. And they're going to create a new thing that nobody knows about yet. And I was like, okay, maybe that was his take on Spaces. Today or yesterday, Coinbase adds 3 new members to its board of directors. Chris Lehane from OpenAI joins Coinbase's board.
It's
Okay.
like that Kendrick song.
Paul, it gets better. Paul Clement, the former U.S. Solicitor General, has argued like 100 cases before the Supreme Court, now owns a very large law firm, also added to the board to help them with their endeavors with the SEC and other regulators. Krista Davies, CFO for Aon, which is like a volatility and risk insurance shop. Really interesting alternative.
Aon is a classic reinsurer.
No.
Are you from Connecticut? You're supposed to know these things.
No,
Don't you wear khakis and like sweater vests? That's what these people wear.
Go to their website. They talk about how they specialize in insuring against volatility and risk, and also human capital. So that was an interesting one too.
Dude, they got crazy mathematicians in Hartford. You know how the game works. You get the biggest nerds that are the best at math. You stick them in a room in Hartford, and they just print money.
Dawson nailed it.
I even think when you zoom out, it's an even bigger point, because it's really difficult to be particularly bearish over the long term when crypto is where all the talent is going to.
Yes.
You know, I just got finished reading Read, Write, Own. I know, JC, that you've been talking about that book all year. It's like the only book that you've ever read. That's how much you've been preaching it.
I've read 5 books since then, by the way. I've actually been reading a lot
I read
these
5
days.
books this morning, Louis. Watch your mouth.
And
Before
you
he
know,
meditated.
that book is really a good. It provides a lot of context as to what's happening. And I think a really big part of that story is to what you were just saying. Just there's so much talent going into the space. You know, before, like I'm sure you're familiar with, before the financial crisis, a lot of the talent was going into Wall Street. Following that, a lot of the talent moved to Silicon Valley, and now we're moving into this new era where a lot of the new talent wants to work in this crypto complex.
Yes, it's a great thing. It's important to be aware of trends like that. You're spot on. I also think Dawson in the chat is spot on about this. Brian Armstrong has proven to be a capable operator. I would say he's proven to be a masterful operator. Don't sleep on Coinbase. This company continues to do all the right things, and I think Brian Lund is right. Coinbase 2.0 is coming. I don't know what that is or what it's going to look like, but if you're putting somebody on your board from OpenAI, this is a tech.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I want to finish up. You know, JC, you were talking about, you know, crypto's breaking new highs. I brought one for you. This is the MPC token. It's a meme token. This just came from our emerging crypto scan. So what this scan looks to identify is cryptocurrencies breaking above certain market cap thresholds for the first time ever. We put on a trade above, 0.006. There's so many decimal points in a lot of these cryptos. It's really annoying. They should probably just reverse split. I don't understand.
They're anti-TradFi. Just what it is.
I think it's just like a big fuck you to the people that are trading these. It's
Yeah.
just so annoying.
I respect it, actually.
We published a long trade above that initial breakout. That was before it entered into our universe. It ripped, crossed 100 million, entered into our universe, and then continued higher, has been building this new base, and just crossed $250 million in market cap for the first time ever. And so long as we're above 2.5 cents, the bias in this one is higher. This is one that's breaking to new all-time highs that you can't say much about, you know, this entire asset class.
I wonder about the origin of this name.
MPC, it's the MPC meme. I'm not sure if you're familiar. It's very much like a political meme.
I missed
you
it.
know, and
yeah.
You're not aware of the MPC?
Is it something they play on Fox News? I'm old.
I mean, I feel like I just need to quickly get you guys just like a photo of this.
What goes on the internet?
Do they have Fox News in?
I'm kidding. I don't watch Fox News.
In New Zealand.
God, they do not. Thank God.
Well, they have Fox News.
Someone's never going to get invited on Fox News after that. Jesus.
Non-playable token would be like a. I got it. I get the meme, Louis, for what that's worth.
I mean, it's very much a political meme, so I guess you could say there's a little bit of a tailwind going into the election. It's very much a meme used by conservatives to throw shade at the left. That's kind of where its origin is, and it's actually really interesting because it's the first ever meme coin where you can and create your own NFTs.
Okay, can someone explain it to me,
Steve? In video games, right? Yeah. There's the character you play as, right?
Yeah.
And then there's all the other characters that are just in the game.
The character is the NPC,
right?
Okay.
And so you're either the main character or you're the non-playable character. You're the NPC, which is a way of insulting someone to say you're just a background person. You don't matter. Louis, how'd I do?
That's a perfect explanation. Better than I could have said.
Nailed it.
Strange world we live in.
I'm familiar. You're the chief YOLO officer. You need to be more well researched on these things.
I don't have to play the non-playable coin. I like the chart though. The chart looks good.
I got one for you guys before we let Louis run. Can you throw up slide 2, Spencer Israel, my good man? This is just one example of many. There's a lot that look like this. Look at Mog, look at Brett, look at Pepe, just in general.
Wow.
Popcat. So this is the next bonk. Self-proclaimed.
Why can't Bonk be the next Popcat? Based on the charts, Bonk should want to be the next Popcat.
No, because Bonk's already $2 billion market capitalization. So Popcat was the next bonk before this happened. So as it turns out, it fulfilled that. It did turn into the next bonk. So shout out to Popcat. 850 million market cap, token ranking number 80. Look at that relative strength, man. That really, really stands out. Clean,
And it really stands
well-defined
out that a
risk.
lot of this relative strength is actually just in the meme coins. Like, how hilarious is that?
Oh yeah, I heard Carmela and Trump were talking at the Bitcoin conference.
Is it
Carmela,
Carmela or
I don't think it
Kamala?
is.
Isn't it
I think it's
Kamala?
just the Trump.
I heard Carmela is too. Saw it on my newsfeed.
Oh,
Wait, hang on. Wait,
Kamala?
is it pronounced Kamala or I thought it was
Kamala,
pronounced
man.
Kamala?
Kamala.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Or just
I'm
say
pretty sure he
Harris. That's
doesn't care.
easier. Just say Harris.
Can you also Louis was referencing the book that he just finished reading, Read, Write, Own. Highly recommend. I read it twice. Great refresher about the internet back in the 90s, especially for people who didn't exist yet, like Louis, right? So that must have been educational, right, Louis? I'm sure you learned some fun facts.
Exactly. I mean, the old, first year of the internet, that sounded like fun.
Yeah. Louis like, that must have been a barrel of monkeys. It was until it wasn't. And then the book I'm reading now, because I'm actually going to be on a podcast with Mike Maples Jr. In the coming weeks. So I wanted to be prepared. And the book is called Pattern Breakers. Here's slide 3.
What's it about?
Why some startups change the future. And it's fascinating. It's cool. I'm into it. I swear to God, I'm really only reading it because I don't know who Michael Maples is. I mean, I know now.
Yeah.
He was an investor in Twitch, but he was an investor when Twitch was Justin TV. So he was just investing in this like the first live streaming reality TV show guy. And that turned into Twitch and made him a lot of money. And he was also an investor in the company that used to be Twitter. And then that company failed, and Twitter was just like an internal communication mechanisms until they figured out what they were going to do over there, because their company was bankrupt, and that turned into Twitter.
So he has like a founder or like a founder's podcast or startup podcast that you're going.
I'm not sure if he does.
I'm asking.
Oh, I don't know. He's just going to be. I'm going to be on a podcast with him.
Got it.
So I figured I'd read it. So I'm halfway done through the book. It's great. It's cool.
Awesome.
New perspectives.
Guys, Louis puts out a free crypto note every single day. If you don't get it, you need to. The link is in the description. You should really get it. It comes out. It's like the first thing I read because it's the first thing. It comes out at 5 a.m. So it's the first thing I read because it's the first thing in my inbox. Check it out.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it's great
it,
because Louis is on the other side of the world. So he sends it while we're all asleep. So by the time we wake up, it's in there. Love that.
Spencer, is this real news that CrowdStrike really offered a $10 gift card?
You know,
affected, or is this fake?
I saw that and I was like, I can't believe this, and I don't care. So,
I don't think it's real, but I'm seeing it everywhere. You heard about
yeah. I don't know if I can believe it. I'm sorry. It's just I don't know.
Sorry we took your business offline for a couple of days. Here's a $10 gift card. That's pretty good.
All right, I'm dropping the link in the chat to Louis' free crypto note. There it is. Get it. Got it. Good. One hole is asking, did I give my Vegemite review? No, actually, I haven't had Vegemite in a while. My review was it's only good with toast and butter.
But Vegemite is not a Louis thing. That's a Grant thing. Is that right,
No,
Louis?
That's definitely
it's
not
a Louis
me.
thing.
Like, I'm very much uncharacteristic of a lot of Kiwis. I just can't stand the taste of that. It's
Okay, but it's a New Zealand thing just as much as it's an Australia thing.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just the one exception. I guess I'm just not a true Kiwi.
I'm with you. It's got a funky smell to it. It was too early in the morning. We had too much wine the night before. I could not participate in the Vegemite.
All right. Thanks, Louis.
Thanks, Louis. Have a good weekend, buddy.
And he's gone. All right.
Yeah, long Uber. Hell yeah.
Let's talk about some stuff. Somebody mentioned Uber in the chat. Yeah. After all the hullabaloo for several years about drivers, are they employees? Are they contractors? Do they deserve benefits or not? And this law was passed saying, no, you must provide them benefits. This is in California I'm talking about. And then yesterday, oh, actually, Uber and Lyft, you're the exception. You can still keep doing what you're doing. So all for naught,
I don't
basically.
understand why they need to be benefits. They're all independent contractors. They work
Well,
however many hours they want. Like, I don't understand why they have to be employed.
that was the question at hand with this law, right? Which is, are they or aren't they? And the law basically said in California that you have to provide benefits, but not you, Uber and Lyft. You're good. So, I don't know.
So communism only goes so far.
Yeah.
Good.
Can we do a few earnings here?
Yeah,
I don't know
tell me
where,
what's going on.
I don't know where you want to start because we got a few of them. We already mentioned the Dexcom. Which one?
3M.
3M. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was up. 3M for wow, it's up more now. It's up 7%. Last I saw, it was up like 5%.
They crushed it. Second quarter in a row. Just absolutely crushed earnings. It beat by like 30 cents.
Yeah, they beat by 30 cents. Their sales came in a $500 million above the estimate. That's pretty good. 6.3 versus a 5.8 billion estimate. Pretty good there. And the guidance was strong as well. They raised their guidance for the year. EPS guidance raised. They're in the low $7 EPS figure for the year compared to like a $6 high six figure before. So good report. Like I said, 7% up this morning for 3M. That's a nice move.
Yeah, so they cut their dividend back in May, and the stock has just been surging ever since. They lost their dividend aristocrat status just back in May, and look at what the chart has done since. Wow. Really incredible. Yeah, so they cut it. They cut it to 70 cents a share, down from $1.50. That's the quarterly payout. They cut it in more than in half. And look at it go ever since. Fantastic, beautiful base breakout. I think you want this one as close to like 105 as you can get it. We saw GE do something similar just a few days ago, right, where it just ripped higher out of this sweet little coil that it's been in for a couple months on earnings, and then it checked right back in. So maybe you get some sort of come in from 3M, a little backing and filling in the coming days. I think 105 all day. Stock looks great. You like it? You like it?
Mm.
No, not for you.
No, staple. Not interesting.
I've been stalking this one and Pfizer. Oh, two old blue chips.
Well,
similar, coming out of these sweet bases. Healthcare is looking better and better and better. Those two charts remind me of.
Could I interest you in Bristol Myers, perhaps?
Yeah.
No.
Bristol Myers. You zoom out on this one, and things are getting weird down here at this level. It's scooping and scoring.
Up 6% this morning on their report.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There it is. There's the chart. So I remember a time when we would put out research or tweets with a triple pane chart, and it was Merck, Pfizer, Bristol Myers. JC remembers. They all
very well.
They all had the same beautiful base, setting up these massive .com bubble bases. Merck got it done. Merck ripped higher out of that base. Zoom way out on the Merck chart. Looks beautiful. Bristol Myers, Pfizer failed miserably. Now Bristol Myers down at a support level, that hasn't seen in a couple of years. Pfizer doing the same, trying to build out some sort of bottom. I think both of those charts go on to look more like Merck one day. They're just taking a hell of a long time to do it.
No, it's a good call. They all look exactly the same.
Yeah, so if Bristol Myers is going to look more like Merck in the future, that means back to the 80s, right? Like, big move from here. And Pfizer too. If Pfizer's ever going to break out of its .com bubble base, which it kind of did, and then it failed in like 2023, that puts Pfizer back around, I don't know, mid 40s, 50s. So I'm interested in these names.
All right.
Pfizer also pays like a 5% yield right now.
Yeah.
JB loves it. JB's talking about it on the TV.
Like JB Josh Brown?
Yeah, JB's really into Pfizer right now. I think he's right.
Right.
Do we have a chart of Deckers by chance?
Oh God, this thing.
You find me a stock that likes to go up, gap up on earnings more than this one, with the exception of
Dix.
Looks like a software company. This thing.
Yeah, with the exception of 2 quarters ago, they seem to gap up every single quarter on their report. It was a beat and a beat, and everyone is buying Hokas. Hoka sales up.
Hold on, throw up slide 2. What is a Hoka?
I don't like them.
What is a Hoka? It's a shoe?
The shoe.
And what kind of shoe is it?
I'm not really sure how to describe
Is it like one of those Jerusalem cruisers that people are wearing?
I don't know what that is.
Like
It's
the Jerusalem cruisers.
I
Like
I guess it's just a
shoes.
sneaker. It's just a sneaker, right? That's all it
Jesus
is.
is like the most famous Jew of all time. What do you mean? You don't know what he wears?
It's just a sneaker. It's just a what
It's
do
a
they call
rubber
them
shoe, isn't
in trainers? They call them trainers, right?
What are they called? Hookahs?
Hoka.
Goes.
Hoka? How do you
Yeah.
spell Hoka?
Okay. It's a running shoe. That's good to know. I should probably get a new pair.
Look,
Hoka.
this
Spencer's
chart,
been going to the gym quite a bit lately.
this chart looking this
See you,
way.
dog.
This chart looking this way is part of the reason why Nike looks the way it does. People are buying.
Oh, Hokas. I've seen those.
Yeah, popular.
All
Those
right.
are Deckers, huh?
Hoka sales up 30%. UGG sales up 14%. No one's buying sandals. Teva sales down 4%.
Don't they have the Sanduk too? Sanduk.
They do have sand. Is that how you pronounce it? Sanduk? I wasn't even sure. Sanduk. What the hell is that? Sanduk sales down 28% year over year. What the hell?
They're ugly. This is all like beach people footwear.
All right.
Teva.
Anyway, this company might as well just be called Hoka and UGG because that's what's driving their business.
Uggs are awesome. Uggs are fantastic. Everyone
I've
should-
never owned an Uggs.
Oh, dude, get involved. Get involved in the winter. Ooh, keep your feet nice and warm.
Yeah?
Well, oh yeah, yeah,
Don't they get wet and smelly?
yeah. After like a year or two, you got to get rid of them because I have some real stinky feet. So everybody's different, but yeah, you got to recycle them out, get new ones every now and then.
All right. I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Good to know.
You should.
And then I don't know if we have the chart, but JC's favorite restaurant stock, Texas Roadhouse, is up about 5% this morning on their report.
I had
So-
Outback again the other day. Again,
That's not Texas Roadhouse.
tastes so nice. Got it twice.
Texas Roadhouse, man. Look at that. Up 4%, 172, pushing up against new all-time highs.
This just had earnings.
I just
Yeah.
want to give a shout out to
Look at
Texas
this,
Roadhouse. When they sit you down at your table, they bring the hostess brings the bread with her. So when you sit down, you already have the delicious bread.
Great. Wonderful.
That's so.
All
I mean, isn't that nice,
It is nice. I've never been to one. I've only been to Outback once in my life.
dude? Do a little due diligence. Go eat before. Eat like on your way there, right? Because the sides are unedible. The steak is fine, but the
That
sides
bad?
are horrible. Like, how do you screw up mac and cheese?
Yeah,
Like, how do you make mac and cheese as bad as Texas Roadhouse does?
It's that
It's
bad.
a sin, Ma. It's a sin.
Also, like that's an important thing. If you're a steakhouse, you got to have good mac and cheese. You need all good sides.
Come on.
Yeah.
Steakhouse is a strong word for Texas Roadhouse, first of all.
I would argue
but
the sides are the most important.
The operation that these guys got going on, Spencer, I'm telling you, as like
I don't even know
as-
where they're located. I don't even know if
there's
there's any in
this
New Jersey.
website called Google. You can just look it up. You live in New Jersey. I'm sure there's one not too far. Just go there, eat on the way there, so you can just observe. They got some operation there. They all got like the Secret Service like earpieces, and they're all like talking to each other. Like, man, it is very impressive. I'm telling you.
All
As
right.
somebody
There
who-
is one 11 miles away. That's close.
Spencer,
right.
you understand business, you understand operations, you understand the market. Like, for you specifically, you will have such a high appreciation for the racket that these guys got going on.
All right. Fine. I'll have to check it out.
I could get down with the country fried steak, Brant.
Man, I haven't had a country fried steak in a minute,
Ooh.
man.
I like it for
With
breakfast.
the pork gravy on
Yeah,
top.
breakfast
Oh yeah.
gravy. Go crazy. Some eggs. Oh, let's go.
Yeah. All right, Texas Roadhouse. I see you.
All right. A couple other things. We were just talking about defense stocks the other day. Booz Allen Hamilton down. What is it now? I just lost it. Down what, like 8% on their earnings report? I just had it and now it's gone. So it's down is the bottom line.
Down good. 7.5.
BAH. And then I wanted to mention a few more. I wanted to mention this weird M&A thing we had this morning. So it was like a double transaction. And so the companies are EVRI, right? Which is one company, and then IGT, which is another company. And what's happening is Apollo, APO, is buying EVRI, Every Holdings, and they're buying a division from IGT, and they're merging them into a new company.
What a
So-
shit show.
Kind of a weird M&A thing there. I thought that was interesting.
I got caught in one of those messes once. We had like a 4-legged options trade on like DuPont, and like they merged with Dow.
Oh,
The
yeah.
shit show.
Dow
of this
DuPont.
math.
That was a
I told the market guys just to take my money because the math was hurting my brain so much that I said, you know what? I don't even care. Like
I'm
it
out.
wasn't even like that big of a position. It hurt my brain so much that I said enough. I don't.
all right. And then
Ask Sean
Biogen is
about
down.
that. Ask Sean.
Biogen is down this morning. The European Medical Authority, whatever it's called, has a negative view of their Alzheimer's drug. So
Of whose?
Biogen's Alzheimer's treatment. So Biogen's down 5.5% here.
The
this morning.
biotechs keep working, guys. More and more biotechs making new highs day in and day out.
Small caps.
These charts look really good, though.
Small caps.
And that's pretty much it. I mentioned the Uber thing. That was from yesterday. That was kind of it as far as headlines go. Did we have anything on the hot corner? I think we did, right?
Huh?
We had some hot corner stuff, did we not?
We have a theme there that I could talk about.
Hit
Let's
it.
talk about it.
So hot right now.
What do you
There we
got?
are. JC, your favorite. UPS. Look at that. Just for you. William R. Johnson.
Why is UPS my favorite?
Transports.
I know, but it's like the worst of all the trannies. It's like
No, they're all pretty good. It's a big purchase, though.
is it?
You don't think so?
$640,000. And who
Not
is this guy? William Johnson?
Yeah. Johnson. But what really stands out and what I want to talk about is the banks. The executives are out and they are buying the banks, and they're buying them in size. Chairman and CEO of Truist
Yes.
Financial,
Yes.
2.5 million, not a piker purchase.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Way to step up.
By
Way to
no
step
means.
up, Mr. What's this guy's name? Am
We
I
don't
being
have to name
sexist
it.
and assuming it's a male? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know. But TFC, one of the super regionals, chart looks fantastic. Love this one.
What
M&T
did Truist?
looks
What were they before?
good.
SunTrust.
SunTrust. I always ask. I always forget.
Yep.
SunTrust. That's it.
But this is an important one, right? This is a big one. This is one of the big boys. We want to see these guys trending well. You want to see the key corps and the M&Ts all doing well, and they are. And executives are coming out and they're buying these things in size. We've seen a number of bank purchases on the hot corner just over the past few weeks, while the banks are absolutely ripping. So let's run through some of them right now. We also had TCBI today. Yeah, look at this. Texas Capital Bank shares. Robert Stallings. He's been out here buying the banks every now and then. Next. U.S. Bank Corp. We had a nice buy recently in. $500,000. Not bad. Doesn't look as good as some of the others, but you could probably define your risk pretty clean at these pivot highs. What else do we have? These are all recent Form 4 filers. QB. This was a 13G. Wellington. 5% to 10%. This one's just absolutely ripping. This is the crypto bank right now. This is the market's crypto bank. So I think that's a really interesting dynamic. So this one brings a little bit something different to the table for investors. We have any more? That's it. So they're buying the banks. That's a big deal because we're seeing the insiders come in and basically support this rally, right? It's like confirmation. It's a form of confirmation for us seeing all these insider buys while the banks are breaking out. You're also seeing it in biotech. So those two groups, the banks and the bios in the back half of 2024, I think that's the playbook.
Well, I mean, small caps are ripping, right? That means interest rates are going down.
Banks, bios, and builders, the 3Bs.
That means that small cap 600 index is not just making new all-time monthly closing highs this month, but most likely several times throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, look at what the large cap averages did after they broke out above their prior cycle highs.
Indeed. So the small cap 600 index is flat over a rolling 3-year period. So what that means is that it has made no progress. So when you have people telling me that this is a bubble and that this market rally is unsustainable and how things just can't go up forever, they probably need to see a therapist. They need help, those people. I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Like, it's okay. It's fine. But like, if you're one of those people, like, find help.
JC, question for you about the banks. We've wanted the big banks and only the big banks, right? That's been the play up until just a few weeks ago. Now the little banks are starting to look better. They're going to give you more juice. They haven't made big moves already, like some of the big six have. If you had to pick, you know, KBE or KRE, so basically the big guys or the regionals, like, what do you think the move is right now?
I think it's the same trade. I think biotechs, regional banks, and trannies, all three, it's the same trade.
You're really putting trannies?
Same trade. They've been moving together.
Yeah. All right.
It's the same trade, Strazza.
Trannies don't look as good as the other two.
Zoom out.
All right.
Zoom out on the Dow Jones Transportation Average and the S&P 600 Index and overlay both, and you won't be able to tell me which one's which.
Would you rather be in builders or transports?
Builders. For whatever that's worth.
Transports.
You are so stubborn.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm the one that told you about the builders. If you forget, I was on this discretionary kick. If you forget, I'm just telling it like it is. You ask me a question, I answer it honestly.
I bought me some Pulte homes yesterday.
Ooh.
Hey now. The charts look great. The charts look great. There's more and more groups that are starting to look better and better. I like these copper stocks. See what's going on with copper. Copper coming out of its most oversold level since summer of 2022. And you got Freeport and Southern Copper set up with these patterns we have seen before. We have seen these patterns before.
Yep. Scoop and score.
Throw one up, Fonz. Let's talk about them.
Compañía de Minas Buenaventura.
Oh, how's BVN looking these days?
That's the one I'm talking about.
I know.
Yeah. Buenaventura means good venture, by the way. For you gringos out there.
Isn't that the name of that? Oh, no, it's Buena Vista. What's Buena Vista? That's good morning?
No, Buena Vista is good view.
Oh, well, that makes sense now.
Vista.
Here, throw this one up. Throw up the Southern Copper.
Is that funny, Spencer?
Yeah, anyway.
So when these topping patterns don't get oversold, they're more powerful, right? Yeah, I think you could have more conviction on these setups. I dropped it in the chat. We have it? Yeah. Right. So just notice how this thing has been dead money for a couple of months now, right? Straight sideways. I could draw it really scary with the 3 arcs. We call it head and shoulders, right? But it's just a potential head and shoulders top. Notice how momentum can't get oversold, right? Stocks making new lows, marginally new lows, right? Hanging on some big wicks. Momentum's not getting oversold. This is just a classic scoop and score setup. You trap the bears, right? And then it fires higher right back into the range, and usually to and through the upper bounds of support, like we've seen with something like home builders recently. I like this setup a lot.
They all kind of look like this. A lot of them, don't they?
Yeah, you can make a list, right?
Yes. I mean, look at SCCO, Freeport McMoran, Buenaventura, like down at the lower ends of this range, kind of like one of those like not a top situations that we've been talking about ad nauseum at this point, right?
Yeah. I'm getting annoyed of it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And if you're annoyed with yourself, just imagine how we feel, Strazza.
I have a chart, and then we'll bring a Fonz on. Fonz, can you bring up the EWQ? I just thought today would be a good day to talk. Speaking of home country bias, JC, today would be a good day to talk about that because it's France, and The Olympics are in Paris for the first time in 100 years. And look at that chart.
So good. What a base. It's Morgan Stanley.
27% industrials, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, slightly top heavy, you know, 25% Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, Total Energies, and Schneider Electric. But
It's Moet. It's not Moet.
sorry,
That's
whatever I said.
Come on.
Moet.
Get some
Hennessy.
culture. Drink some champagne, goddammit.
Yeah, but
How much champagne are you drinking these days, Spencer?
0. I'm drinking champagne.
I figured.
Yeah.
The world would be a much better place if everybody had one glass of champagne before dinner every night.
Okay. Anyway, I don't own this or anything, but looks pretty good. So thinking about it.
I have a very good point to make.
Probably.
I
Let's hear
have an excellent point that I want to make here.
Can't wait.
So when I was telling you before that small caps and trannies is the same trade, take a look at slide 2 because we actually have the data. It's free. And as it turns out,
He's going to zoom all the way out and overlay the two charts. You're good, you. Hey, when you're good, you're good.
just saying. I look at these things all the time and I'm like, that really looks like that other one over there, doesn't it? And then I get the data because it's free and it turns out it is.
Industrial heavy, value stocks. Yeah, I get it.
Right? X mega cap growth. You don't have any mega cap growth in either one of these.
No growth.
By the way, flat on a rolling 3-year period. Flat. So when you have these sociopaths telling you that this bull market is unsustainable.
Yeah.
Flat for 3 years, bro.
So
These
I
are
was
two of the most important indexes in human history. Flat.
So I was thinking about the dynamic that we always, just the mechanics of the small cap indexes, right? Just hear me out real quick, right? I was going down the rabbit hole in my mind about this. Not only do they not get the mega caps, not only do the best ones leave, right? But literally by definition, the ones that come into their world and become the largest weightings are in downtrends. So their largest weightings are almost always in downtrends, because to get there and to become the largest weighting in the Russell 2000, you have to be the biggest stock in the Russell 2000, which means you just came from the mid cap or the large cap world, right? So your stock price is falling to get you into the Russell. So you're in a downtrend, and then you become one of the largest weightings.
No.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's a dumb comment.
Yes, that's exactly how it works. And then the smallest weightings.
Yeah, but the largest component represents 1/3% of the entire index. So it doesn't matter.
What do you mean? No, think about it. The biggest companies in the Russell 2000 came from larger mid caps.
The biggest companies in the Russell 2000
falling to get
don't make a dent in the Russell 2000.
Still, that dynamic is there. Yes.
Wrong way to think about it.
And then the ones that are in uptrends and are doing well, they're coming from being too small to be in, and then they get included, and they're smaller weightings. I think
this is wrong. This math will not. I will not stand for this bad math. This is
math.
unacceptable, Strazza. You're better than that.
Spencer, are you picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm trying to.
What you're saying is right in theory, but in practice it's not. Like, you sound like an economist where in theory it makes sense, but in practice it don't.
The largest companies in the Russell 2000, Spencer, had to fall in price to get in there.
No.
So they're in downtrends when they come in as the largest weights. Yes.
No.
Facts.
SMCI was formerly the largest company in the Russell 2000, and it worked its way up.
Yeah, some work their way up, but others also come in and are large and are in downtrends.
And they represent 15 basis points of an entire index. They don't matter, Strazza.
But if there's 20 of them that happens to, no, I don't know.
What's 20 times 0.15?
I think it's the other way around. I think remembering that they're always kicking out their best players is much more relevant than the worst players of the better league getting dropped in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the ones that are in uptrends leave. The ones that are in downtrends come in. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. All right.
All right. Fonz, want to come on? You ready?
Yeah.
Bring them out. Bring them
Let's
out.
do it. Bring them out. Bring them out.
Hey guys,
Oh.
what's up?
Hey, what are you
How's
doing,
it
man?
going?
What's on your mind?
I mean, I think this thing about rotation lately, it's one of the most important things right now. It feels like a fresh air for the market. The smaller ones doing great. The big ones halting their advances at logical levels. So today I wanted to bring some charts that shows that evidence at the end of the day. So here is the S&P. Halting their its advance at the 161% extension. It's not only the S&P, it is the Nasdaq, it is the semiconductors, it is semiconductors on a relative basis. I don't know if you guys want to take a look at the charts.
So these things are going to consolidate. This would be a perfectly logical place for that consolidation to take place.
Yeah, exactly. And what it's the most important thing is that even though we can see some consolidation at these places that you said, JC, small caps, some micro caps, mid caps are resolving higher. They are not resolving lower. So that speaks in that rotation taking place, that fresh air coming in the markets, very healthy in my opinion, and necessary for these areas.
Not getting talked about at all.
Sorry?
I mean, we talked about it internally, obviously, but nobody's talking about this.
What? NASDAQ?
The fact that the S&P, the NASDAQ semis are all hitting these extension levels and consolidating there.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not only they're not only hitting logical levels of potential resistance on an absolute basis, but on a relative basis too. For example, here is semiconductors versus the S&P, SMH relative to SPY, again hitting the 161%, retracing some of its gains at a logical level. So it's happening on both absolute and relative basis. So that's an interesting point to make about this rotation going on.
Can I just ask, as a non-technician, so it obviously is not hitting those levels exactly, right? Because you drew the box there. So does that matter or not really? It's just semantics.
What an annoying question.
No, I'm that's a genuine question. I'm not being a smartass.
Yeah, it's generally a range. These are closing prices also. You could take the absolute highs and lows, right? There's no magic formula to this. It's a range. We use crayons.
If you were to make a fib range, like JC's saying, we're using the closing prices there. If you were to take the intraday or intra-week prices, right, and then make a range around it, it would give you a nice little band or rectangle. It's really kind of probably the right answer, but you don't want to do or say anything to the penny in our line of work. If you're following a technician who's telling you, oh, the resistance is there at 2278, like run from that person. It's just not how it works. It's not how it's supposed to work. It's never going to work that way. We draw ranges and we draw our support and resistance lines with crayons, not pens or pencils.
Good answer.
Yeah, that's right.
I've got a great rotation chart here for you guys. I got to say, I have brought some great charts today.
This rotation is so real. It's so real. And I love the sentiment around it. Like
the sentiment is what? People are sad that the mega caps aren't working as well?
No, that too, which is information, I think big information. The sentiment I'm talking about is more that nobody believes in small caps at this point. We've had two head fakes, right, that everybody got excited about the last 2 years. And now people are like, no, I got to see it. We're seeing it. It's happening every day. Like we're getting
two, please, my good man.
that follow through. What? Yeah, look at this.
Fun fact. Ready for another fun fact? I'm just dropping knowledge bombs today, so I can't help myself. Fun fact.
Yeah.
The Russell 2000, just over the last few weeks, actually just this month, has gotten back all of the underperformance from the entire year
Incredible.
in July.
That performance gap, it still looks crazy. The performance chart that you showed, the Q's like almost 80%. It's narrowing. The Russell's done some big work on it lately, and the Nasdaq's growing at the same time. So
Russell 2000 up almost 2% on the day, and I'll say this again, has recovered all of its underperformance for the entire year this month.
that's awesome.
That's something.
Beta, baby. When they go, they go. Look out for the little guys.
In fact, financials is the best performing year to date. That's impressive too.
Yeah.
Financials, small cap or large cap?
Large cap right now.
Large cap financials are the best sector year to date. Wow.
Yep.
Do we have the great rotation chart?
Financials outperforming. Is that historically something that happens as markets are crashing or right before they crash? Or is that something that tends to happen in healthy market environments where investors are rewarded for owning stocks and investors are penalized for sitting in their 5%, bragging about their risk-free 5%? Idiots. You deserve it. You deserve what you're getting. Going around bragging about your 5% free. Psh, you're an idiot. You deserve this. You had it coming. You had it coming.
One more chart, and then we'll take it to recess. Throw up the small cap, large cap tech ratio. This is the most important. This is the most important chart for all of our money right now. This is it. Things like this, major turning points tend to start with a bang, and they did. This is the highest reading in history on the 5-day rate of change. Small caps outperforming large caps is what that's showing. Where is it happening? The exact same place. This ratio bottomed when tech stocks were peaking and rolling over, by the way. Maybe don't overthink that part of it, right? This is over on the left-hand side of the chart. That was the end of the bull market. That was the dot-com bust where that arrow is drawn. We're back there. We're momentum thrusting at that level after shaking, marginally below it. Now we're ripping higher. Small over large. That's the world we are moving into. New environment.
I like it.
Just want to, Billy, I love you, but that is bad data. That the financials were ripping just before 08 crash. No. No. Flip your chart upside down so you can see it correctly. That is certainly not the case at all.
Look at the relative.
Financials were already rolling over hard. So are home builders, by the way, Billy.
Look at their relative trends too.
Trust me, I was there, and I was short the financials. So I can tell you for a fact that they were not going up.
Tech stocks were going up in the 2000s in a big way. Financials, not before the financial crisis, not in the same way that tech stocks.
You mean tech stocks were going up?
During the dot-com. They were going up in a big way before they crashed.
Yeah, but trannies had already rolled over. There was already a ton of breadth deterioration happening.
I'm just saying, right? The dot-com crash, your culprits were the tech stocks, but they were really, really doing well up until the crash. In the financial crisis,
there were a lot that had already deteriorated. Go look at the breadth in the NASDAQ.
I'm sure, right? But the tech index looked great. Financials didn't before the financial crisis.
I just want to take a step back for a second. This is a good lesson for everybody, for us included.
Mm-hmm.
Further reiterating what happens in bull markets. In bear markets, to their point, Billy, you've got your losers, which were financials and home builders. They were not ripping in 2008. That's fake news. Then the energy and commodities were ripping into 08 still, right? And they ultimately succumbed to the selling pressure that was already seen in financials that were already deteriorating, falling apart. Bear Stearns had already disappeared by then, Billy. So these were already falling apart, right? So the strongest names caught down in the bear market. Let's talk about this bull market. What's happening? The laggards catch up. These massive tops aren't that, right? The rotation, the catch up is what we see in bull markets. And it's important for me and Steve that talk about this all the time to reiterate it to ourselves because we're literally seeing it.
Yep.
This is what we're talking about. This is what happens in bull markets. It's happened in all the other bull markets. It will happen in the future bull markets, right? So this is a good lesson. So stop whatever you're doing, look around, take notice of what we've been witnessing here, because you will see it again. I promise you'll see it again.
It's just not reasonable to think that tech stocks are going to lead the way that they have been forever, right? That changes, and there's periods where they give some back and they give up that leadership, and we get a new leadership regime, and then tech stocks will have their day in the sun again in the future, right? Can I just say before we move on, JC, 3M, this is 3M. They're up 17% today. This company sells Post-it notes and duct tape. It's incredible. Go 3M.
Wow. What a move.
But a great example of, down at support in a bull market, right?
These, blue chips that get absolutely destroyed in the way that 3M did, I think this is going to be a great turnaround story.
So just quickly, financials on a relative basis peaked in 2004.
We're still on this?
We're already crashing in early 2007.
Right.
By the time the S&P 500 made its all-time high in October of 2007, financials were already making 6-year relative lows by the time the S&P 500 put in its high. By the time 2008 came, which Billy's telling me financials were going up, financials were already at the lowest relative levels in a decade. Financials were already crashing. Bear Stearns was already gone. That relative weakness was screaming that there's a problem. What we're seeing in this market is literally the exact opposite of what we were seeing in that market, right? Literally couldn't be more different, which further reiterates, in case you hadn't noticed, that we're in a bull market, right?
Love it. Facts. I know Spencer wants to talk about the Olympics, so I'll keep it short. I think this could be LeBron James's moment.
Hasn't he had enough of these?
Gold for Team USA. No, think about it. He's never had like a dream team moment like that. This could be it.
Yes, he has.
He doesn't have the same legacy that somebody like Kobe or Jordan.
Dude, this is fourth Olympics.
This is LeBron's moment. Bring home the gold. I'll be watching Dream Team documentaries tonight, getting myself pumped up.
I am excited. 1:30 p.m. Eastern time today, I think, is when the ceremonies start. With this weekend, we got it all, man. We got basketball, we got badminton, we got archery, we got beach volleyball, we got canoeing.
Yeah,
we got it all. And gymnastics, handball.
And speaking of 3M,
also, do you root for America or Venezuela?
Of course, for Venezuela.
Yeah.
Is the United States your second favorite?
In what?
Number two?
In what? In what?
I don't say it in that way. It's not like the World Cup or,
Do you root for Venezuela? So what's up with this guy?
What kind of question is that? You root for your country. It's the Olympics.
Jose Antonio Maita in the men's 800 meters. This guy's the man, huh?
I don't know who's that guy.
You need to step up your Venezuelan Olympic game, I think.
Oh my God.
With a name like Jose Antonio. See, these Venezuelans, they love putting middle names that are like really first names, so they have like two middle, like, right?
Yeah.
You guys do that.
Yeah, a lot. Well,
what's your middle name, Alfonso?
Well, Alfonso.
Your middle name? That's right. Alfonso's your middle name.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
How's that Venezuelan basketball team? Are they any good?
No.
No
bueno. No good.
No bueno. No, definitely not.
All right, we have a picture, and then we'll get out of here. What is this picture?
Well, maybe it's always good to, disconnect and get out of the city sometimes. Last weekend I drove like for 3 hours, and I went with my girlfriend and some friends to the beach, and it was a very, very good weekend. So
when are you going to introduce us to your girlfriend?
I will.
I didn't know. Look at Fonz growing up before our very eyes.
That's awesome. Good for you, Fonz. Looks
for you.
That's
Fonz is in love.
That's an amazing picture. Look at the water.
No. Look at the mountains.
Awesome.
Cool, man.
It's lovely.
All right.
Very good place.
The latest episode of Off the Charts with Strazza and Sean is live as of 2 minutes ago. It's up on YouTube. They talked to Anne Marie Band, who is one of my
that's good.
personal favorite traders and just market people. She's the sweetest lady.
So lovely.
And I of course haven't listened to it or watched it yet, but you can up on YouTube. Check your podcast platform, Spotify or Apple. In a few minutes, it should be up there. And yeah, that's what I got. So we out here. Don't make money. Good luck. Have fun. Have a great weekend. We'll see y'all on Monday.
I got
So
Jerry Seinfeld tonight.
Oh,
That's
dude,
not
enjoy
good.
that. Enjoy that. I'm so jealous. It's gonna be a blast.
I want to go start pre-gaming now.
Yeah, you should.
What's the deal with pre-gaming? Hey, see that? All right, never mind.
Solana Summer starts.